guys, what's going on? This is alertwolf here, bringing you, trying to get a little comfortable. My second Transformers Prime review of the day. And this one is, so I'm reviewing Transformers Prime Season 2, Episode 22. I think this one is called, I'm gonna cheat and look at my phone. Hard Knocks. Alright. And basically, it starts off with a little bit of, gloating for Megatron. He just friggin' kicked Prime's ass in the last episode, so he's like, haha, you should have seen the look on his face when his Star Saber crumbled, haha. Freaking Megatron for the win, yeah, Megatron. Like, he's all about it right now. Still trying to figure out what the hell he has. So that they decode the next set of coordinates. Megatron was going to call for Dreadwing to come and do the job, but Knockout convinced him that he's the one to do it. And he's like, yeah, I don't know about it. You kind of suck as a warrior. He's like, you failed me the last time. And he's like, I'm gonna borrow Soundwave's Sonic Disruptor thing. So he's like, all right, give it a shot. And then we go to the Autobot base, and basically you have, Arcee and Smokescreen are gonna get paired together, which is an interesting pairing. Arcee and Smoke. No, what am I saying? Arcee and Smokewave. That was last time. So, excuse me, Arcee and Bumblebee get paired. And Smokescreen wanted to go too, but Prime is keeping Smokescreen and Bulkhead in reserve in case when he decodes the next set of coordinates. So he's a little bummed by this, and you get more tension between Arcee and Smokescreen because she doesn't like that he's a kid, basically, and he does a little, because he did a little bragging about getting the first piece, so the first key. So they go, and Bumblebee and Arcee get outclassed when Knockout had that or Knockdown, not Knockout. When Knockdown had the Disruptor, he just outclassed them. He schooled them. He kicked both their asses. He hurt Bumblebee so bad his chassis started to crack, and he made off with the relic, and he got the second Omega key with ease, I might say, and he was out. So he hands it to Megatron. And Megatron assumed this guy failed. He's like, you sure this wasn't a decoy? You sure you didn't get played here and they have the real relic? And he goes, no, the way they fought for this thing, because they did fight hard, they just lost. The way they fought for this thing, he's like, this has to be the real deal. So he's like, maybe it's part of a larger puzzle. So, Megatron's already trying to think. And so then they decipher another set of coordinates, and he's like, all right, round 2, baby, let's do this. He's like, no. You gotta figure out what the hell is going on. And so at this point, we flash back to the Autobot base, or that part could have happened after this part, but whatever. One thing you see Bumblebee being healed by their regeneration chamber, and it looks very similar to the same regeneration chamber from Beast Wars. I thought that was cool, I mean, the lid was up, right, because you didn't see the thing with the lid down, but the shape of how the lid was looked very similar to the one from Beast Wars, so I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know if most people caught that, but they got their asses kicked, and they're getting healed, and Ratchet's working on them, and Smokescreen's basically saying, man, I wish it was there, I could have done something. And Arcee's like, what would you have done? You would have gotten your ass kicked too. And Bulkhead tried to play mediator by saying, "Hey, listen, man, these two are no slouches. These are seasoned professionals, and they got their asses kicked." And he's like, "Yeah, man, but Oh, in the beginning of the episode, that's what I forgot. When he first started talking, he's talking about, it's destiny that he's there. I mean, one second he's a librarian, and the next thing he knows, he's fighting for Optimus Prime. So then that's a theme he has. He has that type of youthful optimism that maybe he's there to make the difference in this war. Maybe that's his purpose, and so he Arcee doesn't like that type of youthful zeal because she's, battle hardened. She's seen war and she's watched her friends die. So, these type of things weigh her down. And then the last episode, she even watched him die. So, and that bothers her even more that he died last episode, basically. And then it turns out he didn't die, obviously. But that it didn't teach him anything, that he could die at any moment, to be cautious and not be so reckless. But he's young. He feels invincible there a little bit. So, it's not really sinking in. So, Bulkhead go, and like I said, this time Dreadwing got sent instead of Knockdown. And Dread, Bulkhead gets some of the best epic fights in this, in this show. I say he gets the most. I'm going to put that out there. I say, maybe the Prime fights are better in some cases. I say because he's a brawler, they give him the best fights in the show. And this is no exception. And coming from last week's fight, which was really good, which was excellent, this fight is almost, it's not as cool because it's obviously not, Megatron versus Prime with freaking super star sabers, but the fight is pretty awesome and nearly as epic. They did some slow-mo, and it starts off, they get to these woods, and they realize that Dreadwing's their opponent, and he mined all the trees, because, he's a demolitions expert, so then all these explosions start to go, and Bulkhead takes him on one-on-one and sends Smokescreen out to go procure the relic. Now, during all of this, I forgot to mention, we get some Starscream in the episode, and he finally purified and condensed that red energon, which fits because he's his thing. He's a red jet basically, red tip jet. So it's gonna turn him into the Flash, and he figures out where they're fighting, and now he's gonna go for the relic too, and that's the idea. He's an army of one basically, and he wants to. He's going to get the most powerful relics possible, and he's still upset that he lost the armor. And I will say this, throughout this season, throughout this show, man, he's gone up and down as far as how strong he is. Just because of different things. So, and Megatron did get one of the only major kills of any Decepticon. So I still have much respect for Starscream. So he gets in the mix, and let me go back to that fight. So the fight is awesome. There's some slow-mo, some fighting. I mean, Bulkhead gets tagged with a magnetic mine, and and then throughout the whole fight, the mine is on him. So you're like, this is gonna blow at any second. But neither one of them are backing down. This blast could probably take both of them out, and that's a pretty cool fight. Great slow-mo, great hits. It was like watching a Rocky film almost. It was like watching a great boxing movie, the way the punches were like poof and a little bit, you know what I mean? It was good. It was good. And then some distance gets between them. He's like, oh, I guess you didn't remember, just Dreadwing. You didn't remember how our last fight went. And he's like, beep, beep, beep. So he hits the thing to go off, and Bulkhead's like, sure I did. And he's like, what? And he realizes the Bulkhead took off the bomb and put it on him. It was pretty cool. They didn't show you him doing it, so you had no idea. And he manages to throw it up in the air just before it explodes, but the explosion still knocks him out. And then we get Smokescreen, who finds the relic first. He finds the third key. He grabs the key. He's like, "Destiny, I did it! Ha ha!" And Starscream knocks him out. Boof! Real fast, moving like he's the Flash. I love Starscream. And he's like, "Ha ha! I found this." And then he bounces. So then, Bulkhead gets there, finds Smokescreen knocked out. Smokescreen has no idea who hit him because he was hit real fast from behind, and they assume Dreadwing had help. And it's that they took the key, that he had help, and they took the key, and they failed. And this is the first time Smokescreen has failed, like really failed. I mean, you would think it was the last episode, but no, he managed to pull the key out at the end of that episode and save Optimus. So no, to him, this is his first major failure. He's really bummed out, and he goes back to base. And, he's trying to explain what happened, and he's trying to say he's sorry, and it's just the way he says things. Piss off Arcee again. And this time she lets him have it, because this time he failed, right? So, she comes in with a big speech, and, and he, on being, not being a team player, and you need to be a team player, and stop trying to be a hotshot and all of this. And Prime stops her, I would say, at the point where she should have just stopped and ended it, and it would have been fine, because he still got the point, and she wouldn't have crossed the line or anything like that, you know what I mean? Like, that was well enough. Like, Prime says, like, nah, you're good, we're good, just end it here. And she's like, no, because at this point she's had it. She's like, he needs to hear this. And she goes on with, that she hopes he's a great warrior one day, but we've lost a planet, we've lost friends, and this is the only do-over we get, and we can't have it be, everybody here's on the same page, but everybody needs to be in sync, and we can't have it messed up by you, basically, because you're trying to be a hero all the time. She goes, instead of trying to be a hero, maybe you should try being an Autobot. And, that was the line, basically. And he's like, yeah, well, I would do anything for you guys, and, maybe I'm just not good enough. And he transforms and rolls his ass out of there. You have Ratchet saying, see, maybe next time when Optimus tells you to stop, you'll stop. Like, you went too far there. And Bulkhead's like, I'll go get him. And Optimus is like, no, listen, man, He's young, he has a lot to learn, and he needs to sort this out himself. He just needs time to think and blow up. Basically Optimus understood. The man just needed to blow off some steam. You just needed to sometimes you need to do that. And I dig in this show how Prime is very intuitive. He's very wise in this show. And I like that, because he's wiser in this show than I say in almost any other incarnation. I mean, not that the old forms of Optimus weren't wise, but he seems a little wiser in this one when it comes to people, And so then they're trying to decode the last set of coordinates. Oh, I almost forgot. Before Bulkhead and Smokescreen left, to cheer Smokescreen up, he let slip the beans that they need 4 keys to revive Cybertron. And Starscream hears this, so that at least Starscream's up on knowledge. And then let's flash back to the right part of the episode. So then you go to the Decepticon base, and basically Dreadwing is trying to explain how come he failed. He's like, listen, by the time I came to and I didn't even see the thing. By the time I came to and looked to where the relic was, the Autobots were long gone. See, because neither side knows that Starscream outscooped them on this one, Because people just forget about Starscream like he's a nobody. But he's not, man. He's crafty. He's scrappy. You get the big reveal that ever since they found out where the kids live, basically, they've been looking for the Autobot base, figuring it's not too far out of the range, because they had to have met him somehow. And in doing that, Laserbeak has been looking into the location, trying to figure out the base. And just then, both sides now decode the final information on the last relic of the Icon database. And the set of coordinates are actually showing an image. And we start with the Autobot base, and the image they show is Smokescreen. So that's the big shock. Smokescreen is somehow the fourth key. I mean, maybe it was 3 keys, and he's the only one that can wield them once they're put together, or they go into him somehow, and who knows? And they discuss this. They're like, did he just not tell us he was the last key? Maybe he knows where it is, and he didn't say anything. And they're like, well, maybe he is the key. And Prime goes, oh man, either way, we got to get him back, because basically the Decepticons figure this out. He could be in a lot of trouble. They try to radio him, and they don't get him. Maybe they turned off his car. They figure maybe he turned off his comlink, or it could have been just Laserbeak scrambling, because he was in the area, scrambling communications. I don't know. So the next thing you see is now at the same time in the Decepticon base, and it obviously turns into an image of Smokescreen, and Megatron immediately recognizes him. He's like, so that's his new recruit. So, we need to get eyes on him. And, Prime wanted a ground bridge to him, and Megatron needed eyes on him. So Soundwave finds him because Laserbeak was right there, and initiates Laserbeak attack. Soundwave ground bridge is in. He has his sonic disruptor, and hits Smokescreen when he's down, basically knocking him out. And Prime and the others get there, but a second too late. At that point, Soundwave was dragging Smokescreen through their, ground bridge, and they just missed him. And so, basically, that's how the episode ends. They lost 3 keys, including one of the keys being Smokescreen. So they're at a heavy disadvantage because, if you think about it, Megatron has the upper hand. He has 3 out of the 4 keys. He has a Star Saber. He's like a minute from figuring out where the hell their base is. So, it could be lights out for the Autobots. They're about to lose, basically. I mean, although Prime has more of the weapons, he has most of the relics. The ones that really counted, he doesn't have. So, all right. So that being said, what do I think about this episode? I think it's about a 4. It was a little slow in the beginning, but you had more Autobots losing. The 2 fights in it were pretty good. I mean, the first fight was short. Second fight was awesome. I would have loved to see more Star Saber, but can't keep using that gimmick, and then it'll just get old. But I dig the direction it was going, because you wanted to think like maybe this kid was wrong and there is no destiny, but it was destiny. So it's his destiny to do something great, and he was right about that. So and I guess that kind of got Arcee a little, but I mean, I dig it. I dig exactly where this season's going. I love the idea of there's a chosen one. You know what I mean? And I like to see where this is going. I want to see what Starscream does. Because now that he knows what he knows, he's going to try to make a deal with one of the 2 sides. And it's not... I think it's going to be Megatron on this one. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be Optimus at this point. So this is good. This is good. Again, 4 out of 5. I think this was a great episode. I don't think it was amazing, but I think it was great. It was better than good. And so yeah, man, it's just a stream of very good episodes. Only a few episodes on this season have been mediocre. So yeah. So all right, I think that's it. I don't have anything else I could think of. So click it up if you liked it. Comment if you must. Subscribe if you can. And this is Alertwolf signing out.